Hello! Today I'm going to be continuing my witch costume and I'm going to be making a pair of leaf bracers. Before we get started though, I wanted to remind you guys of the contest that I'm running where you could win a felted witch hat that looks just like mine. I will link the video so you can check it out and see what you'll be winning. But to enter the contest, you just need to download Disney Emoji Blitz and get to level 10 and then screenshot that and send it to me. I'll put all the details and the link that you can click to download Disney Emoji Blitz in my description box, so go check that out if you'd like to win a witch hat and you can match with me. So onto the leaf bracer project. I had really wanted some kind of wrist or arm covering for my witch just because my thought was that she's like adventuring through the woods. She needs to have some like skin protection, right? So I wanted to have some kind of arm covering and I thought, well, I could felt something as well while I'm also doing the other felting, or I could do some leather work on this. I ultimately decided on the leather working because she's got a lot of felted details already and I wanted to add as many different textures into her costume as possible. So we've got a lot of wool. Gonna add some leather. The general thought that I had for these bracers was that I just kind of wanted them to look like I had leaves stuck to my arm. So I think my basic plan is to cut the leaves out of my thinner leather and to stick those on top of just like a normal bracer template, I guess, and those will get riveted on and then it'll get laced up onto my arm. So pretty simple. I need to go purchase some green leather dye, so that'll be exciting to work with like a color that's not just leather color, I suppose. So I'm really excited to get started. I'm gonna do a little bit of tooling, I think. I'm not sure how much tooling the thin leather can take because kind of what you do with tooling is like compress the leather down. So we'll see how much tooling I can actually do in a thinner leather. But I'm really excited to get started, so let's go. I think the bracelets turned out really cute. I definitely have some things that I would change if I had more time or if I ever wanted to redo these. I didn't realize that the back side of the leaves would be so visible. Maybe they're not so visible in video. I don't know, I haven't watched back the footage yet, but I definitely noticed them when I would like look at my wrist and turn. Then I could see the normal leather color underneath the leaves, like on the back side of the leaves in between like the bracer and the leaf, I guess. So I would definitely coat the back side of those next time, or just like entirely run them through dye. But that's not a huge deal. Like, I don't think anybody else will notice if they're not staring at my arms. I'm really happy with the stitching detail. I finished that in the hotel room at Colossalcon. As per usual, there's always some last minute sewing to do, even if I'm not cosplaying really. But it went really quickly. It was like a 20-minute task. I thought it was going to take a lot longer, so I was glad that it went quickly. But I think the stitching detail is really cute, and I really like how it looks kind of like a vein running up the leaf. And I think it looks cuter than if I had done it with rivets. So 10 out of 10 with that. I think maybe next time I'd look for a green thread, but I just used what I already had because that's what I already had. So I figured I wouldn't buy more thread since I don't know how many green projects I'm gonna be sewing in the future. So what I had was fine, and it looks fine. I used twill tape to lace them up on my arms, which was not my preference. I would have liked to use elastic again because it just made it so much easier, and I had to stand there with Micah helping me lace up my bracers. Like 15 minutes just standing there with my arms out being like, ah yes, thank you for helping me lace myself into my garments again. But yeah, it was just a pain, and I don't want to repeat it, so I'm gonna use elastic next time. I just couldn't find it, which was silly because my elastic is literally sitting about 1.5 feet to the left of me as I am doing this outro, and it has not moved since the last time I used it, so it's been there the whole time. Oh, I thought it was interesting that the green dye like separated out into blue dye. Not really super important of a detail, but I did think it was interesting. If you look at the back of the leaves where I kept it the natural leather color, you can see that where it shifts from the green dye to the natural leather, there's a big section of blue in it, which I thought was interesting. I don't know, it's not really relevant information or anything because I'm never gonna probably use that purposefully. Just an interesting detail. The thin leather took tooling pretty well. It didn't tool as deeply as the thicker leather, obviously, because there just isn't as much like real estate to get pushed down, but it tooled fine. Like I was able to get some leaf details in there, and it was a lot subtler than the tooling on like a thicker leather, which I was fine with. I wanted it to be kind of subtle. The green dye that I used, I maybe would have picked something a little bit warmer of a green tone if I had had more time to like mix stuff, but I didn't. I was finishing this last minute, as you could tell from sewing in the hotel room. But I think it turned out pretty well. Like I'm not mad about any of it, and I'm not upset about any of it. I think it's very cute, and I'm really happy with how it looks with the rest of the costume, so success. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. There were not really any roadblocks. I was able to do pretty much everything that I had imagined I wanted to do for this project. I think all of the experiments that I did on the belts in my previous video, I don't remember how long ago that came out, but all of my belt experiments I think really helped with figuring out how I wanted to approach leather and leather dyeing. So learning things, wow. I think this was the EcoFlow water stain. Let me go check really quick. This was the EcoFlow leather dye. I found that it went on a little bit more evenly this time than the Bison Brown one, probably because it was a smaller area to cover, so you know, but it worked great, and I think it's all great. I didn't have any transfer this time like I did with the wrist cuffs, but that was the Phoebing's dye that transferred and not the EcoFlow. So far I have had no transfer with EcoFlow. I don't know what people are talking about that they say they get transfer with EcoFlow. Like EcoFlow is the product that does not stain my skin, so awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, I don't know, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any other leather advice, I'm always open to all the leather advice. You guys have been really helpful with like giving me suggestions and telling me people to follow and like different YouTubers to follow. It's been super helpful advice, and I really appreciate it. So if you guys have more advice, I'd love to hear it. And if you want to see the rest of this costume, we've still got a cape, I think, to fill and some other stuff. So subscribe to see more videos. Yeah. Oh, and don't forget about the Disney Emoji Blitz contest to win a witch hat. Details in the description box, so check those out. Awesome. All right, see you guys in the next one. Bye.